Married 40 something years, so it's got to be doing something right.
How's everybody?
Good day. Good day.
Good. Doing good.
Okay.
Sure. Hey guys.
What's up?
Oh man, it's all good. How's everybody? Keep it fun.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How y'all doing?
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Another beautiful day, minus the COVID.
Y'all got the militia down there in Atlanta.
Oh my God. We got this knucklehead governor. He feel that you know, him and Keisha Lance Bottom, they've been clashing since day one diplomatically. she's taking the high road as much as she probably could tolerate, but you know, bless her heart, she quarantined now for like 14 days.
Yeah, I heard.
But yeah, Kemp gonna call out the militia like you. Oh, you talking about the real coalition?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The NFA.
Yeah. He said he tired of all y'all down there choking and killing folks, killing us. Hello?
You talking about the NFAC, the not bleeping around crew coalition.
I don't know. Gerald.
Them brothers, yeah.
Gerald. Cheryl says, why is she not on?
I don't know. I don't know why Cheryl is not on.
Hello? Huh?
Why is she not on?
Can I what? No, Cheryl, what are you talking? Yeah, 404-543-4760 is the Zoom ID.
How y'all doing, man? Is anybody trading live bullets, or is how's the accounts going? While we got like 3 minutes or so for some small. You can come on.
I'm ready to go live, girl, man. But I don't know if I should do it tomorrow, but maybe Monday. Something. I'm ready. I feel like I'm ready. Been going through the videos and everything.
Okay. Your mic is a little bit crackly. I don't know how I'm coming across, but yours was quite a bit crackly. But I heard you. Good.
What about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can still hear you, but it's got is anybody else hearing that crackly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time. Hey, boss.
What else? Anybody else close to being live? How's the paper trading going?
How you doing? I got it. Thanks.
Is that you, Jay?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this meeting is it's going to be probably par for the course, man. We're trying to respect you guys' time and make sure that you get enough information to take back with you at the same time. We got Chuck on the line. Welcome, big bro. He on the road. I got you, dog. I'm running point today. So, with that said, guys, I've got 2 platforms, and I think I'm gonna put everybody on mute. You see here. I think I've also figured out my. Oh man, let me see. Let me get here quick. I think that's you, Jay. How about mute? You muted over there? Okay. Also, I think I figured out my problem from last time. We won't have those interruptions. And I think I'm on a stronger signal, my Wi-Fi, which I don't know if I was last time. So, not airplane mode, but do not disturb mode. So anyway, last time we talked, Jay, you gotta log on. Last time we talked, I wanted you guys to grab your watch lists. Does anybody grab your watch lists? And we want you to come off mute. That's why I didn't mute you. We want you to come off mute and let's talk to the group about what you found. And I would advise you all to write them down. And don't just trust them because we taught everybody the fundamentals. I would go out on a limb and say that everything that's going to be shared today would be, please let it be something that you've already researched. But I say that to say, if you hear something you like, or you say, oh man, I need to check that out, go ahead and do your fundamental analysis on that particular stock before you just run it, before you make it live. So let's go ahead and talk about, 4 or 5 of the watch list that you actually found, share them with the group. So come on off mute and let's just go through that for the next 5-10 minutes or so. And I'm gonna write down some too, because I like to keep track. What y'all got?
Pfizer.
Which one?
Pfizer.
Give us the symbol letters.
PFE, I think. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, PFE.
PFP, Paul Frank.
E.
E like Edward.
Yes. Your cousin works for them. And they have just been awarded covert contract to continue moving forward on trying to find a vaccine.
Okay.
And what's the name works for them? Angela's daughter.
Okay. Go ahead and what else you got? What is another one you got?
Well, that's the best one I found. All the others I looked at Southwest Air, and they were like, yeah, okay, maybe.
Now listen. They don't necessarily have to have like the most engaging profits right now. Okay, you're I can't think of the word. What am I trying to say?
Oh, you mean the premium?
Premium. Thank you. They don't have to have the best premiums. What we're looking for is something that you may be able to come back to when you need to. Let's just say build a premium. You say, oh man, they're very cheap, and I know this is a good company. So when I say for the watch list, you guys can go back and do more homework and say you just want to get some that kind of meet the low range, the medium range, and then it's my goal kind of a range. So and Southwest probably checks all the boxes, the airline. So okay, well, that's fine. Maybe I didn't share that.
Gerald.
Well, I got
Hey,
one
Gerald,
more. I got
Go ahead.
one more for you. Add CSX.
The railroad.
Yeah.
CSX. Okay.
Hey, Gerald, I wanted to add in on that also, that a lot of times when you're looking at them and it has a low premium, and if it's a good company, you want to make sure you keep that in your back pocket, because there's going to be some times when you have to build a premium, and building a premium, you might have to, it might only pay you $25. But if you put 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 contracts together, then you built your premium with that.
Right. Somebody remind me, if we got time, we'll get to an example of that today. I got a lot that I do want to cover. I appreciate that, Chuck. That's That's exactly right. You want to have something in your back pocket because we're experiencing right now, the market is not that great right now, but that doesn't mean that you can't make money in this market. And we'll show you different strategies and how to think through a COVID period that is unprecedented, and we're still making money. Okay, any more stocks? What'd you guys find? What else?
I don't know all the numbers, but I had Pfizer also because talking to the other teammates. But I looked at what Tony suggested last week, that stock market, and it is addictive. And listening to them, they brought up some key COVID Pfizer. But I also looked for this. There's a home company. People are trying to leave the city, and they're going out to homes, and they're leasing a lot of homes. And this company is Invitation Homes, and the letters are INVH, and they're leaving the city, and they've got 8,000 rentals, and 96% of their people are paying on time. And so they talked about people leaving the city. Another one was the road trips. So I did Megalon, and their letters are MMP. And I just thought that makes sense because even though the airlines people are traveling, some people are still leery. So I thought that was good. And I was really impressed with this woman CEO. Her name is Anne Marie Sasti, and her company is a company that merged as we looked it up because I kept looking for Amesite, AMESITE, could not find it, still can't find it. We had to just Google. We got some other ways that you can look up stock, and so we Googled some things, and I was excited about her because she's, and that's,
I don't think she's trading, Cheryl.
sorry.
I didn't think she was trading. I thought.
Yeah, she merged. She merged
I
with this
know.
Lola company.
Okay.
So I don't know. I'm gonna keep looking it up because
Okay.
I want whatever they're doing, because they're talking about remote learning and these kids going back to school. I believe that some schools are not gonna keep them coming. And another thing, that they're gonna have this distance learning for businesses and education. And that's her
Okay.
company.
Okay, good. Let's also, I think we said it, but it bears saying again. If you're an expert in a field, education or the health field or travel, those are areas that's your fastball. You want to look in there because you're going to know about those companies and you'll be able to zero in and dig deeper on some of those companies, and then you'll bring those to the fundamental analysis. Okay, and you make sure that they fit the fundamental analysis. Some of these companies you may be calling out. I think Delos had a funny example is when I say he was in the woods, which is another definition for just accumulating a bunch of information and really not having any direction. He tells a funny story about just buying a bunch of Southwestern Bell or whatever, some stock that he was working for. And he said, man, I'm spending all this money on this company that I work for. And he looked at it and he said, I'm not making no money. And he saw that they didn't fit any other fundamental analysis. There was no volatility. In other words, there was really no movement in the stock. So be mindful as you search in your field or a profession that you're interested in. Something that you recognize or something that you may know may not necessarily fit the tight genre that the track that we've put you guys on. Does that make sense? Because it has to fit that. And then you can discard it if it doesn't. You can discard it if it doesn't and keep it moving. Give me about another 2 stocks. We need somebody else.
Okay, this is Karen.
Okay, Karen.
I looked up Etsy because that's a shop that I should do a lot of online shopping on.
Okay.
And it seems to be going. Let me see.
You got a tremendous echo. Is that just on? You got an echo. I heard you though. Is anybody hearing that?
Yeah, she said Etsy.
Etsy, ETSY.
She's got an echo, but I don't know what not. I might have one too.
I don't know.
Say the letters again.
Edward, Thomas, Stephen
Yeah.
Yancey.
Or yeah.
Edward Thomas, Stephen Yancey. Etsy.
And their sales went up. They were down and then they went all the way back up. And then they said that due to the booming sales of the face mask, that their sales started to increase and go up.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and
okay.
what you got, Jeff? Go ahead.
I got two of them. One is healthcare. You probably heard of them, Moderna, mRNA, Moderna Incorporated.
Yeah.
And they've had a pretty meteoric rise. They've slowed a little bit, but they also have a coronavirus drug in the works as well. But they've been doing pretty well, and it seems like Moderna Incorporated. M is in Mary, R is in Robert, N is in Nancy, A is in Apple.
Thank you.
Aren't they working with Pfizer together? Both of them are together, I think, aren't they? Working on that drug.
They might be working on that drug together, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But they had a pretty meteoric rise over the last 52 weeks.
Absolutely.
Right.
And then you've got Yelp, YELP.
Oh yeah.
Which is you all probably heard of Yelp, where a lot of companies so they're not too bad either.
Right.
A lot of companies what?
Oh, sorry. A lot of restaurants. I'm sorry. A lot of different restaurants. People will put their comments about that restaurant on Yelp. Yelp is what you call communication services, interactive media.
Yeah. Yeah, I use Yelp.
Yeah, I do too.
Never looked them up though. That's interesting. I probably will. Definitely will.
Yeah.
Hey,
Thank you.
Never thought about
that. I haven't looked it up yet, but
I was just, the fact that the price to get in is not high. So.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get into today, guys. Go ahead and I'm coming to you from the phone for the first segment for a reason. There are some things that I omitted last time. So if you got your phone off, and I think I failed to mention that I'm using an Android phone, and maybe I did last time. And Jeff brought it to my attention that the default face on if you have an iPhone looks different. But I'll also admit to you that most of the things that are online, and Jeff, you may be able to speak to it if you did some research. If you go on to YouTube and you put in TD Ameritrade mobile tutorial, there's going to be plenty of stuff come. And again, just look for the nearest date, upload date. You don't want something 2 or 3 years down the line if you can help it. But I'm coming from the Android, and you guys, if you got it next to you, pull out your phone. Even if you do have the iPhone, I think you'll find some of the stuff that you may find useful, or you'll get the concept overall. But what I want to talk to you today about is the charts. And we want to talk a little bit and discuss why the charts, man, are so important. And we'll go over a couple of examples of the what we call the SMA. I think we touched on it a little bit, but we want to get a little bit more in depth. And I want to walk through putting it on your device. So if you got your device next to you, and you can kind of follow along. Again, we'll have this video up because we have a visual, and I want you to have a visual so you can press play, pause, rewind, etc., and follow me, because I can't go entirely too slow, but I do want to be succinct and give you all this concept. So as I change my screen, to get to the SMA and show you guys, let me know if you can see what I'm doing here. Did that come up?
No.
Okay, hang on.
PC is coming.
Jeanette, I need the IT department, please. Hang on, guys. I'm trying to get okay, here we go. I'm trying to get it to come up. Okay, here we go. Share screen. Look, I'm getting better, y'all. I'm getting better. Okay, that you should be able to see the alert editor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anybody? Okay, good. I need y'all to respond because I can.
Yeah.
I think
Yes,
I'm
we can see it.
frozen. Okay, cool. Okay, so again, we got this visual, and let's go into. Remember I told you. I want to show you how to get here. So we got the account overview. This was the default. This is like the landing page. And we talked about this last week, so I don't want to go over this again. But if I come to the side and I pull this shade over, it shows me my watch list, again, in that margin. And I just want to come to, let's just say, ERI.
No, you don't keep. Yeah.
Did that load up?
Are you on TD or Think?
Yes, it loaded up.
Okay,
Yeah,
this
Eldorado.
is ERI. This is Eldorado Resorts. They are a.
You on ThinkorSwim?
I'm on my mobile
Yeah.
platform. I'm on the ThinkorSwim,
Okay, Mo.
and
All right.
this is mobile, guys. This is what we went over last week. Okay, this is ThinkorSwim, and this is mobile. And again, I want to come to you this from the mobile because I don't think many of you all have your charts set up. And last week we went over this, but I did not go over the chart. I didn't go over how to set it up. So I want to talk to you today about setting up the SMA. So remember, you touch your screen and that white margin comes up. Okay, so we're talking about the charts. So you touch the funnel, and these are called studies. Charts, studies, whatever you want to call them. So if you guys remember this, you're familiar with, we went through the customization. So when you come in here and you touch that funnel that I touched, you see up here at the top, instead of the simple moving averages, don't look for that. Type in moving, MOV, AV, 2 lines. I'm gonna delete it and I'll go get it again. So I will delete it. And you just go to the studies section right there. You type in move, average, AVG, and then the word 2, it should populate. There it goes. Once you see it populate, no need to type anymore. Okay, and there you see it. And then remember, just from last week, if it meets your approval, you just go up to the top right and you hit the check mark. Okay, what that does, guys, is it gives you, let's go back in. We touch our screen, hit the funnel. Now what we'll do is we'll customize it. So we'll hit the gear. And what this simply is talking about is those 2 moving averages. Okay, we call them the simple moving averages, but that is not how you put them on here. You have to type in move average 2 lines for your mobile device, because there is something called simple moving averages, and that is not the chart that you want. You want the move average 2 lines. Okay, so when you get the move average 2 lines, you hit the gear, and then you would come in here and you talk about your fast. Fast represents what we call the 20-day moving. You put that on 20, and the slow represents the 200. We have a 20-day moving average, and we have a 200-day moving average. And they are simply what they are, 20 days and a 200-day moving average. You leave everything else the same. I can move my typing screen. I can come down here and the fast, which is the 20, you see they correlate. The green at the bottom, I want it green, but I didn't have to have it green. I can change it to whatever I like. For the sake of this training, let's just leave it green. Let's hit the back button. And again, you can do the same thing for the slow, which represents the 200-day moving average. So we're set right here. I'll hit back on the top left corner to get to that check mark. Remember, you got to check it in to do anything. Okay, and here it is. Now, our long press, let's talk about what we just did. You can pinch it. You can pinch it just like a picture on your phone, and then you can open it up and move it. If you look up here at the top, it's got the circle, the top left, you see 1 day. This represents 1 day. That represents today and 5 minutes. So as I scroll through here, you see the times, they correlate of the time of day. If I go back to when the market opened up today, you see these gray lines, they represent the volume. As soon as the gate opened up at 9:30, let's put the time on it. 9:30 right there, you see the blue line and the time. When the gates opened up and the market opened up, you see the volume. That's represented by the gray line. Now let's talk about how you read this because it's very valuable to you. If I put this on 9:30 and I slide this up, these are the pips. You see this first pip, that red pip opened up at 42 when the market opened, and then it closed at 41.7766. So that's just 1 minute, or that's 5 minutes in the day because it goes from 30 to 35. 9:30, 9:35 was the next pip. And you can see that next pip went down. It went it opened up at 41.85 and it closed at 41.29. So again, we're looking at it in a 1 day trading time. And if you look at the very bottom, at the time that I'm scrolling across there, you can see what this actual stock has done all day. Now let's talk about the lines. Up here at the very top, you see the slow moving average. The slow moving average is represented, and that's the 200-day average. Okay? The green line, not the pips, but the green solid line represents the 20-day. So what do they really mean? Well, in this 1 day chart, let's go right here where the fast, which is the 20-day, you see how it broke through and it went below the 200. And that happened at 10:30. See where they intersect right up there? I'll move the blue line off it so you can see it. You guys still with me? Somebody call for something.
Yeah.
Okay, good. My screen, I'm only looking at the chart.
You're going a little fast for me, but.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll slow down a little bit, but also remember it's going to be on the videotape. We're looking at the green line and the pink line that's represented on our chart. We call it the simple moving average chart. The green line is the 20. It's called the fast moving average because it's 20 days. And the pink line is 200 moving average. All we're doing, guys, is getting a general conception. I don't want to get too deep with this. You know, Dion and Jeff can read this a lot better than me. And these things represent a lot, but we just need a general understanding. So I just want to give you an example of what the stock did today. You can see it in a 1 day average and just understand the time graph is down here. This is a full day's trading. And as I scroll through here, you see the military time and the 1600 at the very end. That represents what? 4 o'clock, correct?
Correct.
So you see at 1600, there's no more volume. The gray lines that are kind of merging, woven in there, they represent the volume. Okay, no big deal. We just want to, again, give you a general concept because I will come back to this. Now I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna touch the 1 day on the top left, the 1 day and the 5 minute, because generally when I look at a stock, I go down and I touch the bottom right, which says recent. This will bring up all of my recent searches. If I can't find a recent one, because I want a 1 year. So let's put a 1 year on here. I don't have the favorites because this is my paper trade. Let's hit the middle button, which is time frame. And let's put I hadn't done this in a minute because my other one is set up, but let's go interval. Let's change interval to, let's change the interval to, let's leave it at day. And let's change the hours.
You want it?
That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, it's been a minute since I've been, oh, okay, here we go.
You may be able to click on it on the graph and it'll have a drop down on mine. Up at the top where the T and the 1 month and day is that you clicked on before.
Uh-oh.
When
Okay.
I click on mine, it drops down and gives me 1 year as an option.
That's what I'm looking for. Okay, where'd you find it? Tick?
On the chart, up at the top left corner of your chart where it's got the T with a circle around it.
Yeah, normally mine is in here, and I've got them all set up. It's just been so long since I've been in here, but that's fine. You can get 1 year. You can customize it actually. Let's do the time frame. I don't want to spend too much time on here. Yeah, I know that. I don't have the drop down. Don't give me that. No, because I hadn't been in here. This is, okay, let's do a 5 day.
Maybe a 1 year.
Okay, this is a 5 day chart. You see it's represented up in the top left, 5 day and 5 minutes. So we're in the same, and I'm pinching it. You can see me pinching it or widening it. But again, let's go all the way over to today. So this is today. You see the gray volume underneath today, and I'll put the blue line right here is where it starts. This is where the day started, and then over here is 1600 hours is the end of the day. And you can see again the volume is that gray that's represented in here. But since I have up top left that 5 day, if I scroll over here, you have another day, and it just populated right there. And this is where the day started. This was Monday, and you can check out what happened Monday. And remember, you can pinch it bigger or smaller. So that's the SMA, and that's again the 20 and 200. The green line, the green solid line represents the 20, and the pink line on my particular chart represents the 200. Now let's move down. You see the bottom part of my chart. You see right in about the middle of the screen, you see the white letters RSI. This is another chart. So on my phone, and most of us have been taught that you really only need two of these charts in option trading. And these charts are going to give you the information that you need to, make an educated strike point when you enter the market on a Monday or a Tuesday. What strike are you going to get? You're going to read these charts. So now we want to talk about that lower chart, the RSI.
I'm not on paper trade.
The RSI stands for Relative Strength Index. Relative Strength Index. So I want to show you all how to get this chart underneath your 2 day moving average, your 2 line average chart, SMA. Again, we touch our screen to bring up the white margin on the left. You hit the funnel, and here it is. I'm gonna move it down. Long press it and move mine down. And again, if I take it off, let's delete it. I'll delete it and I'll bring it back up. All you do is you tap in here.
Okay, I didn't see it.
Just tap RSI. And then it populates down here underneath the study search. You tap it. We want to lock it in, so we hit the check mark up top right. Okay. Now I want to go back in there and show you all how to customize this and what it means. So I'll go back in and now we're going to touch the gear, and let's talk about the RSI, which is the relative strength index. Basically, guys, we changed this, the 14, the length, I like to change this to 10 because we go for 2 weeks, but inside of 2 weeks, there's only 10 trading days. It was at 14 as if we can trade on the weekend. We don't trade on the weekend, so I'm only looking at a length of 10 days, 2 weeks of trading. Now we look at the word overbought, and overbought, we want to put that at 70, typically at 70, and I'll talk more about it when we get to the chart. Oversold, we want that at 30, typically. The rest of the stuff, closed, Wilders, really doesn't factor in what we're doing here. And then down again, the customizable part, you can have your lines of different colors. No need to mess with that right now. We talked about it. You just tap the color, check the color that you want. No big deal. Okay, so let's get out of here. We're going to get to the check mark. We got the back screen, and now we like what we did, so we're going to check it. That locks us in. Now, let's talk about this and understand what we're looking at. So the relative strength index, this chart that's on the bottom, this is a 5-day. Now remember up top, we're looking at a 5-day, 5-minute chart. So what does this all mean? The relative strength index gives you an indication of if it's overbought, which is the purple line you see in the right margin. You see the 80, the 60, the 40. Let me open it up so you can see. We set our lines, we set our break lines at 70, and there's another purple line at 30. Everybody see that? And we set that up typically because as a trader, as an option trader, that's what we want to be mindful of those lines.
I'm sorry.
iPad. I don't see none that's on the iPad, honey.
Repeat that. I'm sorry, because somebody was over talking you. You set that up at what?
We set the lines. Everybody see the purple lines?
Yes.
Underneath the 70 and underneath the 30.
Look at this.
Right.
Is my screen showing, correct?
Yes.
Okay, we're talking about the RSI, the relative strength index.
Right.
Okay, now let's talk about why, and we'll talk about the metered line that's pinballing in between. So what this means, guys, is when a stock is overbought, it's going to typically be going through, let's find where it's overbought. Okay, everybody see right here? All right, let's go right here. You see the blue line that I put? Mm-hmm. Where it breaks through the 70? Is everybody following?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. What happened right here is the stock, in this particular case, ERI, was overbought. Okay, what does that mean? That means that people in the industry, there was a volume and they overbought this stock. So what that means is many times, all the time, when a stock is overbought, it's going to come back down. It's going to come back down underneath the 70 and hopefully start trading around the middle, which is, sorry. We'll find another place where it's overbought. So, right, that's not, let me find it. Lost my place. So when it's overbought, here we go. When it's overbought, it breaks through the 70 line. Okay, you got a purple line. I should have made that red. Let's go back and make that red. I want you guys to follow me. I'm gonna go back in and I'm gonna make that line red. So this is part of the training. We'll customize it. Let's make the overbought line red. Let's make the oversold line, I don't know, let's make it blue. All right. Now, okay, here we go, guys. So we see the red line represents 70. The blue line represents 30. As an option trader, typically when it breaks through the red line, it's overbought. Okay? And depending on days, weeks, months, it's going to come back down. That means that stock has been overbought, and you may not want to enter right there. If you enter on a strike point, it potentially is going to come down more. Now, when is an ideal time to get in a trade or find a strike point? Because again, this is all giving us an understanding of what strike, what strike do I want to buy or sell to open? Remember, sell to open. So if you're looking at the RSI, let's move it down here. Everybody see my blue line? And you see the RSI jiggly line has just begun to touch the 30. Let me find it for you. Right here. So that represents it's being oversold. Typically when a stock is oversold, you can count on it going up. It's going to come back and it's going to go up. So in a real example, if it's trading at 25 and it's right here touching that blue line, that oversold line, you can pretty much bet that stock is going to go up eventually in days, weeks, maybe months, maybe hours. It just gives you an indication that it's being oversold and it's going to come back up. So let's say a real example, if the strike is at 25, if ERI is selling at 25, okay, then it's going to more than likely when it breaks back through, it's going to be at 26 and 27 is heading up. And as an option put trader, that's what we love. We don't want it to come down on our head. Remember, our goal as an option weekly trader is to get to Friday and hear the phrase expired earnings.
Gerald, your volume is doing something really weird.
Okay.
Your voice sounds like it's in a tin can or something.
And soft.
Maybe I need to turn the volume. Okay. Well, hopefully this translates better on the videotape. I wish you would have told me earlier. I would have been trying some different things.
It just started doing that.
Am I coming through?
Yes.
No, same problem.
Same problem.
Same problem.
Okay. I'll get closer to the microphone. I'm trying to get close to the microphone. Is it any change right now?
Not really.
Not really.
I hear you fine, G.
Okay. Is it just with some people's audience? Maybe if I
You fading out now.
fading out.
Yeah. Breaking up, fading out.
Okay, let me try to get it a little bit closer.
Yeah, you're going in and out.
Okay. I'm trying to get to a better signal. Hopefully this comes in better. Okay, how's that? Any better?
A little.
No.
Yeah, you're not in and out right now, so.
Okay.
Much better.
Okay. I want to get back and give you guys a better understanding, a decent understanding of the relative strength index. It's just something that we use to understand what a stock is doing and to anticipate what a stock is going to do. So again, we look at the 70 line and we look at the 30 line. And if it's breaking through the 70 line, you can anticipate within hours, days, or a week, depending on the stock, it's going to come back down. In other words, that stock is going to come down in price. And then vice versa, if it's going through the blue line, which represents being oversold,
You can
it's going
You
to
there?
correct itself. And the ideal place that an option trader would like it to be is right around the 50, in between the 40 and the 50. Okay, what does that mean? That means that the price isn't changing. And you have peace of mind because you're trying to make it to Friday, remember? For it to expire worthless. Okay, so you don't go on the call side and it to expire worthless. So it's just another tool, a chart that you can use that works with the first chart, the SMA, and it gives you a generality of where do I come in, when do I set up my option, and just a tool, more references. Okay, so now let's talk about. Let's move on to the alerts. Many people say.
Hey, Gerald.
Yeah.
Hey, Gerald.
Yeah, you got something?
Can you hear me, G?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me add in real quick on that RSI. On the RSI, like Gerald said, it's an indicator. It kind of lets you know, what the stock is going to be doing. If it breaks that 70, you can bet your bottom dollar it is going to drop, okay? And depending on where you are, you can look at it, know that it's going to drop. It may or may not drop below your strike price, but at least you know, okay, I have an idea that it's going to drop. If it's trading and you see it at the 50 line, you don't know if it's going up or down. That means it's trading sideways, and you're in a pretty good position at that point in time. And then if it's at the 30 or it's below the 30, that's the best time to actually get in a stock because it is going to go up. So again, all of these are just indicators to let you know, that one more tool that you have in your bag when you're making choices and decisions. So that's all that is. Go ahead, G.
Okay, good. Exactly. Okay, and that's something that you'll develop your own style with. Let's move on to the alerts. Many of you all had questions when you came on, like, do I have to watch the stock all day? I work, or we had government workers actually I had before, and they can't take their phone in, so they may just deal with a lunch break or something. So in that case, you have alerts. There's a couple of ways to get to the alert, but again, I wanted to come on the phone because many times this is the tool, this is the platform that you have. We all have cell phones. So if you look up the top, you see the bell in the top right corner. The bell is something that you would push to get to this screen right here. It's the alert editor. And the way that I do it is I come to the threshold, which has the padlock next to it. And I would touch to clear it. And let's just say, if you look at ERI right now, it closed at $38.35. So let's just take a real example, because I got in ERI today. And I have to make it to Friday. ERI doesn't move a lot, but there was some news today. Funny thing, after I got in it, there was some public sentiment that I think did move it a little bit more than normal. Because when I got in it at 70% that I would make it to Friday and be outside the money. I got in it at strike at 37. So ERI dropped down after I got in it about $1.40 today. Normally ERI doesn't move but about maybe 45 cents. maybe a day. Well, there was some news and it fell down. So I'm looking at ERI like, oh my God, I want to make it to Friday so that my strike at 37 will expire worthless. So what I did is I'm going to set a alert. And these alerts will do whatever you tell them to do. You want to make sure that you have your push notifications on in your settings. I hope you guys can hear me okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we
Good.
can.
Yeah,
Good,
we hear you, Gerald.
Good. You want to have your push notifications on, and you want to have, and that's only if you're getting notified through a text, because you can choose to get an email. I choose a text, and there may be another way. But anyway, if we're looking at that threshold and you saw me just put in there 37.50, what I'm telling the system is I'm telling the system to watch this stock for me, because I can't afford to be looking at it all day, but I want to know when it gets to 37.50, because at 37.50 I will make a decision. Okay, so then you would come down to the trigger, which is the column right beneath it, and if I want the 37.50, I would hit the marks to say I want it to be less than or equal to 37.50. Okay, and with the exchange, I want best, still as best as we learned the last time. And then I would just hit create alert. It gives me that notification that the alert was created at the 37.50. It's ERI, and I can go about my business. This even works in the aftermarket. I found out today, because sometimes, you wake up and the aftermarket trading, I think, picks up about 6 o'clock Eastern time. And then the market opens, as we know, at 9:30. But in those hours before the market opens, these stocks move. And I'll show you. Chuck, just jump in if there's something that you want to add. To get that off, I would hit OK.
But I do want to say that when you have your alerts, the best way that I watch over everything in ThinkorSwim is go to my positions. It lets you know, it'll show you on your positions all of the alerts on every stock that you have. You'll see a bell by it in your positions. And then also you can keep track where it says mark. It lets you know the actual price or strike price that it's at that point in time. So I always look at my positions to check everything, because eventually you're going to have more than just one stock. You're going to have more than 4 or 5 eventually. And the best way to keep track of everything is go to your position status, and then you'll see your alerts. You'll see everything that you have set up right there, and it'll show you the marks.
Right. I don't have the stock that I just put the alarm on, so it's not populated right here. That's why you don't see it. So yeah, you can always find, like we talked last week, and you guys are familiar. You touch the top buttons up there. You have the positions. We talked about the orders, the balances. Everything is in this margin, and it's easily accessible if you just slide this side out. Okay. So that's the alerts. And again, what happens is when you wake up in the morning, let's just say I did ERI. You see what happened? You can see the big 3803 that they closed at, and you see underneath it, they dropped today $1.50, and that's 3.79% worth. But that's a bigger move than normal for them. Like I said, when I chose my strike point today, I have the probability set like I showed you guys last week, and it was telling me that I was 70% probability that I was gonna make it to Friday and be out of the money. That's a good thing. That means it will expire worthless, and I'll get a chance to wash and repeat. Well, there's a little bit of a scare happening because now I gotta watch this for the remainder of the week. And if you look over at the sell, the red box that says sell and the green box that says buy, you see the sell. Well, it's went up since it closed 3 cents, and I'm happy about that. So it's got a couple of hours when we wake up in the morning, a couple of hours before the market opens, and hopefully it continues to go up. By the time the market opens, hopefully it's at 38.50 or 38.90 or 30. I don't care as long as it's not coming down on my 37 strike point. Because if it gets to that, what did I put? The alert at 37.50, I'm going to get an alert and I'll definitely look at it and I'll make a decision. Obviously, I'll probably buy it back so that I don't go on the call side. Now I'm talking fast. We haven't talked about buying some of these stocks back. We'll probably get into that next week. But I want you to hear the verbiage of how this is beginning to work. And we've been over it a couple of times where hopefully you're starting to hear things a time or two, and you're starting to process it a little bit. But we've been through the charts, the SMA, the RSI, which is the relative strength index. Those are just tools to help you understand what is the stock doing or what can you anticipate that it's going to do. We talked about the alerts. There's one other thing that I want to fire up. I'm gonna switch from the phone. I know you guys are glad. We're pretty much done with the mobile device. And I'm gonna log on to the TD Ameritrade platform, the one that we initially learned on. And just for you all kind of keeping score, there's 3 platforms that we use, and I would say exercise all of them. Obviously, the mobile, the ThinkorSwim mobile that you're looking at right now, that we've been training on. The initial platform that we trained on that I'm switching to. And I'm just gonna go ahead and switch to it. Bear with me 1 minute.
I have a question before you leave.
Go ahead.
Okay, and this is back on the charts. I was working along with you on my phone, but I was trying to see if we could go back to the charts on doesn't matter which one you had a blue line that you were moving back and forth. I was trying to get that blue line up. Yeah, how did you get that on the phone?
Long press your screen. Oh no, you know what? You have to tap your screen to bring up that white margin. You see what I'm doing? Tap it. And the white margin populates on the left side, and then you touch the crosshairs underneath the eyeball.
Now I have a line, but I can't move it. So
long press.
Gotcha. All right.
Thank you. Press it. Keep your finger on it and then slide. And you can slide up and down the horizontal by sliding up and down, and then obviously left to right slides your vertical line.
And one more question. Was there a significance when the fast average and the slow average meet? Did that mean something?
Some people use that as what we call a picture of power. I don't know if you guys got that video. Chuck, you can jump in. Did you send that out to this group at all? Oliver Velasquez. I'm just gonna keep Chuck. Chuck may be on mute or in a bad area in the mountains. But if you hadn't seen it, there's a videotape that he has a very simple explanation of let's say right here when the 20, that green line dips below the 200, right there where I got the crosshairs on, and he labeled that the picture of power. And he was saying a lot of day traders use that because if you can stay around that area when it just breaks through, you can read these pips, the red and the green candlesticks, and it's a powerful, depending on a color scheme. And again, we'll get you guys that. So I don't want to go into depth without you having an understanding. So just understand that we'll get you some information on how to read some of these candlesticks. And there's so much information out there. We do read them, but we don't get super in depth with them. But that's your call, and we'll leave that to you. That's your call. But just be on the lookout for some information about, you know, more candlestick reading, and you can incorporate all of that with the RSI chart, and then the simple moving 20 and the 200 chart, and the information from the video, and then you'll formulate your own style, whether you're looking at a 5-day chart or whether you start at, because usually I start at a 1-year chart, looking at these candlesticks. And then I'll start to zoom in and try to look for trends. What's it been doing for this week? Because I'm trying to make it to Friday. What did it do last 5 days? Because did it continue through the weekend? So I'm asking myself questions, and I'm pulling up different charts, and I'm looking at the RSI. Is it overbought? Is it oversold? Is it trading in the middle? So you just kind of accumulation of all of these things will give you a really good indication of what strike points you want versus the stock that you're familiar with. That's why we tell you, get you some stocks that you're familiar with, that you like, your genre. So I'm gonna switch over. Sign in. Oh, I'm gonna switch over to, let's see. Bear with me one sec. So I'm gonna switch to the TD Ameritrade. Pull up that. You took over. Uh-oh. Sorry, hang on. Let me close out of here.
Where is it?
You share that screen?
Yep. Yep.
That door is so loud. Did you hear me today? When I talk on it? Okay. All right. Oh, you ain't got me showing. I think we're gonna be okay now, guys. Everybody see this screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Bear with me.
Hey, G, I'm gonna have to review the tape, man, because I gotta get off here. I got something going on.
Can y'all hear me? I don't think they can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
You're not set up.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you still on the phone over there?
Go close me out. Because it started echoing. Hang on. Don't close it out, because we're gonna lose them, right?
You're hosting over there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I got no volume over here. You guys hear me yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How come then?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Wipe off the chain. Okay, all right. She got the thing on mute. Okay, Sorry, guys. Bottom line is that we get this. That's all that counts. And I appreciate y'all hanging out. Okay. You can close that one out, Jay. Okay, what we got here, guys, is I wanted to talk to you about just a little bit about strategy and sectors, because as I was talking about in the beginning, you may have an expertise, and obviously you want to research that expertise, but when you first get started, depending on how much capital that you come into the market with, how much you fund your account with, you may start off, with not a whole lot of capital. As your account grows, you're going to be able to put out more contracts. Obviously, contracts are the name of the game. So let's take a look at what am I talking about here. And just for your familiarity, here it is again. Here's the RSI. Looks a little different, but it still functions the same. Over here to the right column, you see the 70 and the 30. Let me see if I can blow this up a little bit. I don't know how to function this, but oh, there we go. Let me get that out the way. Okay. So again, let's just really talk quickly about the RSI. And you can see right here in March, you look up at the SMA. That's what this is. If you can't see the top chart is the SMA. This one is identified. This is the volume. It looked a little bit different. It was gray on my mobile device. And then this is the RSI, the relative strength index. What we were talking about, if you see the 30 is representing the 70, you see right about March, all of this kind of went below the 30. And right now I'm in, what stock am I in? I'm in a couple of stocks. This is what I wanted to show you guys. RCL up here is Royal Caribbean. I've lined up another sector, Boeing, BA. And then I lined up another sector, which is Zoom. The reason why I wanted to do this, and this is something that you can do, you can come into the charts right here under charts. And this is the TD Ameritrade, the first platform that we ever learned on. This is where we do our fundamental analysis in many cases as well. So you will navigate and learn how to work in here. So again, to get here, you come into charts and you come over to comparison events. And then you drop down to compare company. And that's where I am. And when you're going to compare company, it allowed me to put in only 3 of these. And these are 3 different sectors that I wanted to put in to kind of drive my point home. This is the travel industry. We know that's the cruise line, RCL. And that's represented by this pink line. I said pink, that's kind of purple. Then we have Boeing. Everybody know Boeing is kind of I call them kind of a bastard stock, because the government is just not going to let Boeing fail. They do the fighter planes and they're commercial as well. And Boeing is represented by this one I will call pink. That's the one in the middle. And then let's talk about this sector here, Zoom, which is a sector that's not even, what I'm going to say, not affected by COVID, at least not negatively. And that's represented in the black. Now, the reason why I wanted to illustrate these 3 different companies and these 3 different sectors is to drive the point that I'm about to make home. As you develop and you compound and your money grows, you want to have different sectors in play. Personal example. Right now, we have Play, Play, which is Dave and Buster's. That's going to be kind of the entertainment, food industry. We know what Dave and Buster's represents. And to be successful, obviously, it needs people. It needs people to patronize. So that obviously was affected. I'm in March right here. Everybody see the crosshairs on March. And what do these stocks have in common? The COVID dip. You see the RCL come down here. You see the Boeing begin to come down here. That's probably their commercial side. Boeing was having some trouble beforehand as well a little bit, but Boeing ain't going nowhere, and they're very volatile, moving up and down on the scale. And then I wanted to demonstrate to you all what I call a COVID resistant kind of a stock. These are your Zooms. Obviously, Zoom, once the schools went down, Zoom was employed by many, many Americans, many people worldwide. It's how we do business. So you don't even see that COVID dip in March. Zoom took off the other way. There's some other what I call COVID stocks. I mean, COVID proof stocks. You can probably name a sector too. Chipotle took off. They did some things correct when they had months ago. I think they had salmonella or something, if I remember. Another one that took off is Roku. Again, that's the kind of the entertainment sector. They do the chips and the streaming boxes. But so the point is, many of these stocks, the airlines, the cruise industry, the restaurant industry, those stocks, if as your account gets bigger, you want to begin to strategize. And I say always stay a week ahead, 2 weeks ahead. Watch for the earnings report. All of these stocks have earnings where they come out and they talk to the public about the quarter that they've had. And those are usually strong public sentiment pushing kind of weeks. Premiums are bigger. And as you strategize, you don't want to be all in one sector. I don't want to be talking about what happened today. I don't want to have the Dave and Buster stock because I've got 8 contracts that are on the call side. So I naturally don't want to go and do anything else in the entertainment industry, so to speak, because I will be dealing with this COVID dip right here. So strategy tells me that I want to find something that I'm going to get released back to me. It's going to expire worthless every Friday. Because if I have everything on the call side, then I'm pretty much handcuffed. In other words, I'm not on the put side anymore, and I'm waiting on, let's say, RCL, something in the entertainment industry, or the Dave and Buster's that I was just referencing. I'm on the call side, and I'm grabbing a little premium, but it's nothing like that what I would be doing if I had freedom to pick and choose on the put side. So ideally, we are put weekly option traders. I wanted to demonstrate that strategy to you guys so you begin to think about the sectors that you want to play in. We don't have any emotion tied to any of these sectors. My Aunt Cheryl was talking about my cousin working in a particular sector. That's fine and good, but I don't even care. I got no emotion about that. All I need to know is, does it fit the criteria, my fundamental analysis? And can I find a decent premium that I'm happy with that fits my goal? You guys, that's another thing you want to start to begin to think about, a goal that you're trying to accumulate and make financially monthly. Again, you want to begin to think about, depending on the amount of money that you're going to fund to your TD Ameritrade account, begin to think about a realistic goal of what you want to do and what you want to make a month. And you can pull Chuck or myself aside and think about and talk about realistic goals, and we can kind of give you some history of what we did and what others have shared with us. but that's something that's going to help you, because in a week like this week where the market is down, you may be thinking like, okay, well, I'm not going to push it because I don't want to go on the call side. I want to get my cash back on Friday so that I can continue to be free and clear on the stocks that I want to choose. And I'm not on the call side just collecting premium in a stock that I'm waiting to come back up. I hope that makes sense. Let's get into some of your questions for some of the remainder. And like I said, again, this will be, we'll keep this recorded. If you haven't joined, Bernice, you were right. If you haven't joined the YouTube channel, join the YouTube channel. Bernice, you said last week it was G Alf.
Ow. Uh-huh.
G space Alf, A-L-P-H. You were correct.
That's right.
You were correct. That's right, she said. That's right. So let's get into it. Questions, comments, concerns.
I got too many to list to ask. I'll just wait and go do some reading.
No, I mean, this was good, Joe. I mean, I had the RSI up already because I had looked at those videos, so I kind of already understood that part of it. That was good. But when you're on that default chart setting, like for the chart you're on now, what do you use? What chart style? I mean, not the chart style, but you using the different upper indicators, the lower indicators. Are you choosing year to date as far as your customization, or what are you using for where you have your price?
Typically, let's go into a regular chart.
There we go.
Typically, I use. Let's just go. Let's get out of here. So here's the chart style.
That's where I'm at. Yeah, I'm good. I'm using that. Okay.
I use candle. Everything that you see is what I use. So SMA, this is the simple moving average.
Yeah.
On here, be mindful that it's not like your phone. The phone, you have to look up, what was it, average 2 lines or something like that. It's on the video. I can look, but they're the same thing. They're what we use, SMA. And again, we use the 20. So you customize this. You make it 20, and the 200 is the second line.
Gotcha.
You update it. So everything on here is what we use. Only thing that's different right now is that I've got this doggone compare company. I want to get this off of here, and I want to look at let me see if I can get this off of here. Where's the regular chart? Maybe I just need to refresh it. Oh, let's X these out. How about that?
Yeah.
So let's just leave RCL up here. And this is typically how it looks. So you have, you know what? We're just going to get that off of there. And
there we go. All right, there we go.
Okay, so here we go. So this is how the normal charts look. This is how my chart's set up. This is how we learned. This is how I would advise you all to learn, so that when we're talking, it's apples and apples. Right now, we're looking at ERI, El Dorado. This is the one I was telling you today that I put in. It ended at 38.03, and it's down today for $1.50, and my strike point is 37. So I'm very aware. I'm watching this because I'm not going on the call side with this. I need this money to stay on the put side. I got enough contracts on the call side. So if we're looking at this chart, and what I typically do, Jeff, is when I come into a chart, I click on a year's time.
Right, so you do
Again, I want the picture from the blimp. I want the Goodyear blimp to start off. Okay, so we all know what this drop is. This is the COVID dip right here in March. Okay, so I look at this And if I'm trying to figure out where am I going, I like the stock. Where am I going to get a strike? I got excess money to get a contract. So I look at that and I say, okay, now let me zoom in a little bit because I want the 5-day view. I usually come down to the 5-day view and I begin to look at this chart, and I'm always looking at the RSI as well.
Okay.
Okay. So if I'm looking for a strike point, I've studied this chart, and today is what, the 7th? Let's look at the 10-day chart, because what this does is this gives me some of last week, right? So I want to see what has this stock been doing for the last basically 2 weeks. I looked at the year. I saw that it was affected. I saw that it was trading. If I go back to the year, we've been over this before. Normally this RC, normally, where am I at? ERI? ERI trades around, 60 plus, typically, or somewhere around here. Okay, so I've got that information. I come back to the 10-day or the 5-day chart, and I begin to look like, what is it doing? Where am I going to get in? And as I look at the day, I'll go down to the RSI. And if it was somewhere around here and I was considering it, this would be a good place to get in, because right here, you see, this was overbought. Oversold.
So
It's oversold. So being oversold tells me that it's typically going to come back, and that's exactly what it does.
oversold being that it's on the bottom, right? Overbought being on the top.
Correct. Exactly correct. Correct. Oversold is the bottom, and it's typically going to come back. And as an option trader, ideally in the middle is what, like Chuck said, if you catch it in the middle, fine. We don't know which way it's going to go. It could go up, it could go down. Now, I found that the RSI is affected by the chart that you're looking at. So if you're looking at a 1-day chart, check this out. Say we just wanted to look at it 1 day. We're going to go to 1 hour. Watch how much pinballing this RSI does. That was today. Let's go to 1 hour. So if we said, how you zoom in on that? No. So from 305 to 355, you can see the RSI was really moving around. So this is almost real time when you're looking at it. If you decide to zoom in, because sometimes I come into like on my phone, I'll zoom into like 1 day. I think that's as close up as you can get. On here, you can get in within 1 hour. But I think on the phone, when you do 1 day, it is representing 1 hour as you zoomed in. So you can see right here at about 351, it was definitely oversold. Now think about this. This is where it got oversold at 350, like right in, like 350. So it ran down for a minute, I guess. I forgot I'm looking at 1 hour. So yeah, within 1 minute, it was heading back up. And right here at 3, it broke back through right at 3, what's that, like 352. So when you decide to zoom in, back up here, if you decide to zoom in to 1 hour and say, man, what is this RSI doing? And you can catch it. You can literally see it moving in real time almost. And say, this is where I want to get in because it's moving up. Okay. So again, that's just tools and resources. Any more questions? Jeff, did that take care of you?
No, that's good.
Okay.
I'm good. Thanks.
Okay.
Any more? All right. With that being said, we will let you all have your night.
Cool, man.
Gerald,
Yes.
hello? I had a question. How do you spot unusual trading?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
How do you spot unusual trading? It was in what book was that in?
Follow the smart money.
Yeah.
There's a couple of ways. As I get more and more experience. I mean, how experienced am I 3 months in? But as I see things, I begin to notice things too. But let me see here.
What is unusual trading?
I don't know the term unusual trading.
In the book, it says something about like inside trading.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you what I typically kind of see. Let's go to the option chain.
Somebody else is buying them.
If it's 100 contracts.
So
Okay.
if you have 100 contracts,
Go ahead.
Okay, so if you have 100 contracts and all of a sudden it goes up to 5,000, would that be unusual trading?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's somebody dumped some real heavy cash in there, probably a hedge fund or something. That could be following the smart money. I'm gonna show you another way that Delos kind of shared with us. So again, in the option chain, we've been familiar with this. We open up near the money to all the expiration dates. Let's go ahead and view the chain. So you asked an indication of following the smart money. If you look at this option chain and you come down to right here at 38, again, we're looking at El Dorado. Am I in El Dorado? Yeah. So ERI is trading at 38. My strike is at 37. Okay. Over here, you see these high numbers over here? This is an indication of what you were just talking about. This is where a lot of the public feels safe, if you will. It's just kind of my phrase. And so if you find these unusual high numbers over here, you can find this is the volume. This is where the most people are landing. So if you come up here and look at what this represents, see that's volume. And
Gerald, what you pointing at?
Oh, can you see my screen, guys? I'm in the option chain.
We can see. Well, it's not showing the option chain though. It's just showing El Dorado Resorts.
Oh, sorry. Thanks for catching me. Let me see how do I share this one? New share? You're not sure. All right, let's see.
Don't you have to go back into ThinkorSwim?
You guys see that option chain?
Now yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry. So this is what I was saying. The option chain is open. We're familiar with this. It's trading at 38. And over here is where I was saying, if you see my cursor over here at the 36.50 strike, all the way to the right on the margin of the option chain, this is an indication of, one would say, smart money. So if you came in here and you say, what is the majority of people, this column represents the volume. Even if I go up here, you see VOL, volume. A lot of volume here, a lot of people, a lot of contracts over here at the 36.50 strike point. So that's an indication of people landing here, feeling comfortable, feeling that Friday that this is going to expire worthless. They came in here, they did $36.50, and we know that's times 100. And they've got a 50-cent premium. We know that's times 100. And they feeling comfortable about it because a lot of people landed here. Now that doesn't necessarily mean, and sometimes, I mean, like look here in the money. You know, these are people using different strategies and saying, you know, I don't care, having this put to me, etc. Okay, that's one indication of following the smart money. There's I'm sure there's many. This is kind of one that I look at. Other times I'll do this. I'll open up the 3 days to expiration. We know that. I'll open this up and see what are some of these other weeks that are distance out. What do they know? This is a 10-day, so this is not this Friday, it's next Friday. Where's the smart money? What are they saying over here? What's going on? So this kind of, again, all of this begins, you know, it's just so much out there. You'll develop your own strategy. And in particular with the stock that you become more familiar with. But
So
that's
Gerald,
just one of the ways that I follow the smart money. Go ahead.
is that what you all meant by not following the money? A couple of weeks ago, you said something about don't follow the money or chasing the money or something.
No.
We talked about that last night.
That was a phrase we used by saying, don't chase premiums.
Oh, don't chase premiums. Okay.
Can somebody tell me what that means?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you get like a strike price, in that example, 37.
Oh, I see.
37 put and $1.66, the premium's $2.14. Don't go for the $2.14.
Yeah.
Is that right?
The premium in this case, in your example, you were right. The 37 is the strike.
Mm-hmm.
And your premium is this 166.
166.
But what's the danger?
It's too close to the money. So
You're
you're
very
supposed
close
to
to
count up,
it's trading
count up
right
the
here.
5. Yeah, it's too close to the money, even though it's paying a higher premium. So
Right.
they were saying, don't go for the amount of the premium, because even though it's a lot on the premium, you're real close to the money.
Correct. You're almost on that front line. Now, listen, guys, that's for training's sake. We've said that there are some strategies where you're like, I don't care. I need this premium because I really like El Dorado, and I don't care because I want to go on the call side. So let's say it got put to you at 38. You came in at 30. Let's go ahead and say a 37.50, and it got put to you. So what happens is the next week that it opens up, because it happened on Friday, right? Let's go ahead and walk it through. So you came in at 37.50, and then this price came down to 36, and it was Friday at 4 o'clock. You're at 37.50. It was trading at 38, but by end of the trading day, it's down to, I don't know, $36. You just got put to. That means now you don't have a contract on those 100 shares. You own those 100 shares. It's not a big deal though, is it? Because remember, we taught you all that you've done your fundamental analysis, and heck, it may be given a dividend. It may, it's got institutional value. This is a good stock. You've done all of the boxes. You've checked them all. But this thing got put to you at $36. So what happens is, let's go ahead and walk it through, because now you own 100 shares of El Dorado Resort. So it got put to you on this week, the 17th. So this week is over. So we have to open this up and look at the next week, because this is where you get to play. Mm-hmm. So you come to the next Monday, the next trading week, and we said you got put to, you was at 37.50, right? So now you come over the call side, and you don't want to give none of their money back to them. So you come in right here at 37.50 on the call side, and nothing changes. This is your premium. As soon as you put your shares out there, the 100 shares that you own, you're going to collect a $200.83 premium. The only thing about this is you have to sit here pretty much until Friday again. But here's your consolation. You made $283 and you're on the call side. You take the rest of your money and you do on the put side like you've been doing. The only way to get off the call side is to have these shares, what we call executed. On Friday, if you are not in the money, then your share, wait a minute, I'm sorry. If you are in the money on this side, if it has come to 37.50 by the end of the trading week on the Friday, then they get executed, which means now those shares are taken away from you. You do not own them anymore. And your initial seed money comes back to your TD Ameritrade account. And now you can officially go back on the put side where you started. And you can play in any stock that your heart desires. We'll get into that a little bit more next week. And we'll get into buying back the stock, which is what I may do if it starts to come down on the strike point that I was telling you guys that I got in this today, 37. Okay, so that's some food for thought for next week. You're beginning to see how this unfolds. You're beginning to see there's still, just because you're on the call side, it's not the end of the world. You saw the premium over there that you would get. That's why we say it's tough to lose as long as you do your fundamental analysis. Typically, I want to be on the put side. Some people don't mind the call side. I want to stay on the put side. I want total control. I want to be able to jump around, move around, choose my premiums, etc. It's not the end of the world if you're on the call side. I got 9 contracts on the call side right now. 8 of them with Play, 1 of them with Delta.
8 with Play?
I'm not losing sleep over Delta. Delta ain't going nowhere. Right. They'll be back. Dave and Buster's will be back. Until then, I just collect the premium over there. That's what I was saying. You don't want to play in the same sector, because right. if I had everything in the travel industry and the entertainment industry, I'd just be handcuffed, and I'll just be over there collecting premium until the market switched up again, until kind of COVID began to open up again and we got things moving.
So when you say contracts, you have 8 in Play and 1 in Delta?
Correct.
So you just kept going to the put side with those contracts, and that's how you got 8 of them? You went there 8 times?
I did it all at once. You can get as many as your money will allow you, or as much as you want. So in that instance where I got all those Dave and Buster's, that's one contract equals 100, remember?
Right.
100 shares. So I got 8 of them. I got 800 shares. Okay. I did 8 contracts. And that was a situation where Dave and Buster's was really low.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It was like $2.
Oh.
So
okay. So Jared,
maybe $1.50 or something. So
wow.
And the premiums were decent. So I did what you call build. I built. I got 8 contracts, and that total, it was roughly $1,100 worth of premium for those 8 contracts.
Wow.
So
did you buy all of those contracts at the same put price, or did you buy them at different put prices or strike price?
I bought them at the same price. I just went in there like I demonstrated last week, and in that quantity area, I didn't put 1. I put 8 because I wanted 8 of those contracts.
Okay. I got you.
So is there something to show us where we could find some stock like that, those little prices? And we could research.
Yeah, go on the earlier videos. We went over the screeners.
Okay.
And
Yes, a video called Screeners.
Yeah, go in there and look. It's called Screeners. It's titled Screeners, and it will allow you to drill down and find, check the boxes of the stocks, whether you're looking for them to be a certain price point, which is probably what you're talking about.
Right, price point. Mm-hmm.
And in many cases, you can set it up to check those boxes that are fundamental analysis boxes. If you want an ex-dividend, you can set that up in the screener. So the screener does just that. It's going to screen the stocks, and it's going to populate only the ones that you ask for. Okay. And they'll be priced equivalent as well, based on your range. If you say, show me stocks for $30 to $50.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's bring it to a hard stop there, guys. I don't want to violate your time. I know you got questions, but a lot of that, go ahead and write them down, and then we'll make sure we'll get them answered the next. Until then, keep educating yourselves in your spare time. So much information out there. I would say stick to the videotapes, because if you begin to just start looking up options, you get on these little rabbit trails, and yeah, you're learning information, but it's not specific to what we're doing maybe at this point. And you may even be getting ahead.
You're talking about your YouTube videos, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Stay on, and they're sequential. Don't jump around, because there's some stuff we ain't shared with you, and I don't want y'all coming in here with wood burning, smoke coming off your video screen.
Okay, thank you.
No doubt, guys. Enjoy. Right. Be safe. More than anything, be safe. Stay safe.
Is Chuck still here?
Thank you. No, I think he got cut off. He's driving through the mountains and whatnot.
All right, man. All right, everybody.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Take care.
Bye.
The last little bit. I got it. See what putting all the contracts in. I have down the line to know. What this fool saying right here?
You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the biblical Israelites, according to the curses of Deuteronomy 28. What I want to go into today is show that Christ does have a color, and that Christ is, according to the Bible, a black man.
Oh, this is beautiful. She got a bad space for outdoors. She must be rich. They have on Facebook called Black Women Who Love Outdoor Living Spaces, and they got some bad outdoor spaces. I mean, it's just all day long. I ain't been showing different people's back.
Bye.
You hear me? Sure. Oh.
I'm leaving now. Sleep with God. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Himself was a black man.
In Arizona.
And I want to read chapter 14, verse 2. It reads as follows. Judah